صلوا على الحبيب صلى الله تعالى على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Alhamdulillah, we're continuing the topic, questions and answers about Islamic veil. Inshallah, the topic is Masjid al-Nabawi and Ithikaf for Islamic sisters. Just before I proceed, just like to mention some parables for our rectification. There was a non-Muslim who was very habitual in drinking alcohol. And I used to see this alcoholist on the footpath. And he was so intoxicated that it was very difficult for him to remove from that area. So alhamdulillah, by the fadl of Allah, by the du'as of our murshid, we gave him neki ki dawat, and slowly, step by step, he became a Muslim. He accepted Islam, and later on his missus also accepted Islam as well. But they left alcohol, and mashallah, he started attending the Dawat Islami weekly ijtima, which was in Fezani Attar in Bradford. Occasionally he would go there, but the confusion was that he came across, alhamdulillah, we explained that Islamic sisters, Dawat Islami has a platform that alhamdulillah they have their own ijtimats, and the brothers have their own ijtimats. So obviously coming back from that culture, he was obviously from that culture where he was engaging with mixture, nightclubs, etc. So he was finding it a bit awkward. This is very, strange that you keep everything separate. So sometimes we can, create these confusions ourselves because we've got different organizations and they've got different tariqakar. And alhamdulillah, he was so engaged, he was coming to the masjid. But what happened is, there was another organization that invited him, where they were actually mixed and they were doing zikr of Allah. And he was quite happy to take his wife there. And he said, look, they was mixed and we enjoyed it and everything. But you are slightly different people. I said, how are we different? So you explain. So some people may not agree that, how we set things up and how they follow things. So they might say, look, if a woman can go into a shopping area, she can wander around. If that's okay, then why can't she be in a gathering with men as well? So this is why we have to be careful from the tricks of the shaitan. So we are creating this confusion ourselves. So going back to the booklet about Islamic veil, sometimes sisters might follow, other people, whatever they are doing. But them people, they might not be following the teachings of Islam. So if they are doing things that are contradicting against the Sharia, then this could be leading them to the fire of hell as well. So this is why it's very important that we learn rulings of Islam. Whichever, if you're running a business, then it's important how to run a business according to halal earnings as well. We might be selling things that are defrauding, we might be tricking people, and that money is not halal for us. And this is why we have to learn things. Same again with marriages, right? When you're getting married, doing nikah, it's obligatory knowledge that you have to achieve to give the rights to your wife and wife to give rights to a husband. But we don't educate ourselves. But when it comes to worldly things, like if I want to pass my driving, I will go and pay money and book that theory test, and I'll take that test, whether it takes me how long to pass that test. We should achieve guidance. It's like whenever you buy a Hoover for your household, a vac, there might be certain parts that you want to, compile that vac. You might not know how to put that together, but you've got a manual. You've actually followed that manual and you've compiled that vac to a stage for it to run. So I hope this makes sense what I'm trying to tell you. So the first question it mentions here, can an Islamic sister perform Ithikaf in the last 10 days of Ramadan al-Mubarak in the specified female section of the two holy masjids, Haramain Tayyibain? The answer is no. Next question, can she perform Ithikaf in her rented accommodation? So for example, if she's going to Makkah for Umrah or Hajj, sometimes they book hotels, can she do Ithikaf there? Answer is, she can make an intention to specify a place in her accommodation for Salah. this specified place will become her house masjid, meaning Masjid al-Bayt. She can do Ithikaf in that area. The next question, the veils of Sahabiyat. Question, please tell us some blessed hadith about the veils of the Sahabiyat. And the answer is, here are 9 narrations about veils of the Sahabiyat radiyallahu ta'ala anhunna. So I'll mention a few of them, inshallah, due to time. Number 1, veiling face even in ihram. So al-Mu'mineen Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha narrates, during the Hajj pilgrim, we were in the state of ihram with the beloved and blessed Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whenever people traveled past us, we used to pull on our shawls over our heads and hung them in front of our faces. When they passed, we exposed our faces. Did you see, in the state of ihram, a pilgrim must not allow any cloth to touch his or her face. But even in this state, the blessed Sahabiyat conceal their faces from other men. Remember, in a state of ihram, it is haram to touch cloth to the face. Therefore, they were very careful to conceal their faces without letting their veils touch their faces. It is worth remembering here that the Sahabiyat concealed their faces and observed veils strictly even in the normal situations. This is why the blessed hadith declared prohibition from covering faces in the state of ihram. A hadith of Sahih Bukhari states that the greatest and holiest Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, in the state of ihram, a woman must neither cover her face nor wear gloves. Point number 2. Mothers of the believers, Sayyidatuna Salma radiyallahu ta'ala anha narrated, when this blessed verse of the glorious Quran was revealed, translation from Kanz al-Iman, Surah Al-Ahzab, verse 59, to cover their faces with a part of their headgear. So the women of the Ansar covered themselves with black shawls whenever they exited their homes. From afar, it looked as though crows were sitting on their heads. Point 3. Mothers of the believers, Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha narrated, when this holy verse was revealed, translation from Kanz al-Iman, Surah An-Nur, verse 31, part 18, and to keep putting their head covering over their bosoms. Women tore their lower garments from the corner and covered their faces with them. Last point, 4. The wife of Abu Qais breastfed the mothers of the believers, Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha, when she was a child. Therefore, Abu Qais was Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa's Rada'i father, and Abu Qais' brother Afla was Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa's Rada'i uncle. After the blessed verse about veil were revealed, Afla intended to meet Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha. But she radiyallahu ta'ala anha refused in view of the commandments of veil. Sahih Bukhari states, Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha said, let me first ask the beloved Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam whether or not I must observe veil with Afla due to the Rada'i relationship, because I think I drank Abu Qais' wife's milk. But how does that make me related to Afla? Was the question. The Prophet of Rahmah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, O Aisha, allow Afla, he is your Radai uncle. Inshallah, we will continue the next points from point 5 in the next dars, inshallah. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant our sisters, our mothers, our wives to observe veil from non-mahram men, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah Azza wa Jal reward them and bless us with haya.